Welcome to Fuel Motivation. For more videos from your favorite public speakers, be sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications.
Because I'm suffering right along with you, but I want to see me get through it. I want to see what you're made of. I want to see, like, almost like the Colosseum in Rome. Let's fucking go to the fucking Colosseum. And the only way to see who the baddest motherfucker is to suffer. You can't do it by writing a paper. So let's go, because why? What I found out through my life was I thought of myself as some weak little bitch kid. And what I found out, and the only message I want to get across to people is, once you change one thing, your mindset, you can attack everything. And I find it fascinating. I'm fascinated. Because I'll be in these moments. I put these guys on some fucking pedestal.
Yeah, which people do with you.
They do with me, and they shouldn't. And I was this guy who was a piece of shit looking at these, oh my God, how are you guys this amazing? But once I worked my way up there, I said, my God, man, we can all compete, motherfucker. Let's go. So, do I like suffering? I like suffering in the way that is competitive.
Yep.
That brings out the absolute best in me and in everybody else. So like, I want to see a man be defeated. I want to see a man get broken and say, fuck you. I love these men. These men I love, but there's very few of them. There's very few of them. And there's very few that are willing to go there more than once. A lot of people, even people who've gone through special ops, it kicks the shit out of them to a point where in their mind, what got me bad in pararescue was when I was going through it, I said, I'm only gonna do this one time. And so many people in special ops, whether they believe it or not, in anything, fuck special ops in anything, that's hard, I'm only doing this one time. Once you say that, you fucked yourself. What happened with me was like, so who I was this nobody guy. And I created this Goggins. And that Goggins, there's David Goggins and there's Goggins. David Goggins is a calm, cool guy that sits back. Used to be a, weak kid. Now he's just a normal guy. Goggins is a guy that is willing to tape up his legs to go after it. What changed me was I had to be hard on myself.
Yep.
And I have to continue to grind myself into a fine dust. Period. That's where I feel good. I feel like I accomplished something. If things come easy, it's not fun. I must fail at something repeatedly. It has to haunt me. And then once I complete it, I feel like I accomplished something. My cardio was 20 minutes every Sunday on the elliptical trainer.
Okay.
That was it.
That is it.
So I'm looking at all these different races, and one comes up, number one, the hardest race in the world, Badwater 135. 135-mile race through Death Valley. I'm like, that sounds fucking nuts. But it didn't describe that it was like a couple day race. I'm thinking, okay, that has to be like a fucking 7-day race. Because I don't know people who run like that. So I end up calling Chris Kosman up. Chris Kosman is the race director of Badwater. He's like, have you ever run 100 miles before? I'm like, no. He goes, well, to get my race, you have to do a 100-mile race. And you gotta do 100 miles in 24 hours or less. There was only 2 more races I could do before the deadline dropped. I call him up on a Wednesday morning. He goes, well, there's a race on Saturday. And it's called the San Diego One Day at Hospitality Point in San Diego, where you run around a 1-mile track for 24 hours and see how many miles you can get. So I'm like, fuck it, man, this guy's kind of calling me out. I'm gonna get this shit done. I'm a SEAL, I'm a badass. Been through Ranger school and shit. I got this. Hardest thing I did my entire life, dude, was this one race.
Wow.
I was not prepared at all. So I go, I sign up for the race, I show up, I'm this big bodybuilder looking guy, shirt off, black hat on, and I set out. So every mile, I'm gonna see this blue lawn chair. I had Ritz crackers and Mileplex. That was my fucking nutrition, man. No water, no nothing. Just, I get going, I sit down at mile 70. And buddy, I hadn't sat down yet. I sit down and everything falls the fuck apart. Literally, man, I'm like peeing blood down my leg. I have some crap coming out of me, and I got 30 fucking miles to go. And I'm in the worst shape of my entire life. And so I won't get too deep into it, man, but I end up going back through my cookie jar, and I talk about, you know, my cookie jar is basically something I invented about. We forget how badass we are when we're suffering, because our mind just stays right there in suffering. The cookie jar is a reminder. You know how your mom used to have the cookie jar, you don't know what kind of cookie you're gonna get, but it may be oatmeal raisin, maybe a chocolate chip meat, because, you know, she dumps them in that motherfucker, you just grab one and go. So my cookie jars, the things I've accomplished, failed at, didn't fail at, just kept on grinding through. So I take this 1 second, I calm down, so I realize, okay, man, I gotta be able to just stand up first, come all dizzy and lightheaded, and I go through this process. And I said, I might quit, but not yet. I go, this is the worst shape of my life. So I said I might quit, because when you're not gonna quit something, you got 30 miles to go, your mind's spazzing. Like, I'm fucked up. Like 30 miles is a long way to go, just fresh. I've already gone 70, I'm in the worst shape of my life. I'm like, okay, so I'm giving my mind some space, because if you don't give it space, it's just gonna freak out. So I'm saying, you know what, I'm gonna quit, but let me just sit here for a second and drink some water. Now I'm drinking water. I have my crew going over to get some fucking, you know, nutrition, some food for me. I'm getting better. So now I stand up, like, wow, I'm able to stand up now, because I wasn't able to. I was all lightheaded. And I'm going on this track, and I get to mile 81, and I wasn't going to make the time. I was moving slow.
You're behind time.
Way behind.
Okay.
And this is the craziest thing in the world, and I fucking shit you not. I'm in the worst shape of my entire life. Ever. I've never even been close to this. Again, never. Mile 81, I'm not gonna make the time, as slow as I was moving. And when your body and mind connect, and I think this is the only time I've ever done this,
Okay.
you become a cyborg. I end up running 20 miles at about a 10, 15 mile. And get done with that race. I did 101 miles in 19 hours and 6 minutes. I learned more from that 19 hours and 6 minutes than I did in all 3 hell weeks. Ranger school, and this is months. Ranger school is 60 something days. Hell week and all the buds is 6 months. I was in buds for like 18 months. You know, I went through Delta Force selection twice, you know, pull-up records. I learned more in that one race that I wasn't prepared for. That 19 hours brought me from utter misery, happiness, failure, success, depression. I went through every fucking emotion in the world in 19 hours. So I'm sitting there and I think I'm gonna die. And worst shape of my life. And I'm in this tub and I'm jackhammering and I had this hot water hitting me, and I'm literally in the worst pain. My shins, my feet, I'm broken. And I'm just sitting, I'm cramping up. And she said, we gotta get you to the doctor. You know, your mom's worried, I'm worried about, like, we've never seen this before in my life. And I go, I'm not going anywhere. I wanna sit here and enjoy this pain. And I know the listeners hearing this are gonna say, man, you're a fucking nut. No, I'm not. What I got a chance to experience in that 19 hours and 6 minutes of my life was something I didn't want any painkillers. This was proof positive. What I was feeling is what I just did. I did something without training, without coaching, without a cheering staff, without any knowledge. I took a raw human being with no training whatsoever, put him out in a condition, and just through this alone, got through it. And I sat there and I was like, it was the best feeling I've ever had and will ever have in my entire, I was in the worst pain in my life, and it was the best feeling I ever had in my life. Not because of the pain I was in, but the pain was confirmation of, my God, did I just do that? Wow. And I had completed hell weeks, but that right there was like, don't take this from me.
Man.
And it was confirmation, proof positive that this young kid that came from shit, that wasn't shit, that lied and cheated I was now the truth.
God.